Hello there. So in this video, we're going to talk about token holders. Very important with meme coins. For example, Solana meme coins. This I'm more interested in slightly later in the collection. So like, for example, this one we were talking about, laptop, where you're looking at a collection when it's an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours into the launch, or days or weeks into a launch. Now this one, the problem with this one, I was having a look at this, but I'm in two minds and I'm probably not going to. The only reason is there'll be a massive volume of selling had come in. Now this might just be people taking profits or even losses, of course. This is how it goes sometimes. And once that clears up, we don't know, or there could be FUD in the group and stuff like that. I had a look at the group and it's kind of mixed, nothing interesting to be honest with you. So I don't think it's worth it from ROI, because you have to always think, like, if I buy here, yes, it could shoot up a little bit. It could even moon. We don't know. That's a possibility. But we know hours after a launch is at 2 double tops here. It might be out to Steam now. And if it's not going to do any new marketing or anything interesting, there's not much liquidity anyway. Is it just going to kind of die off and falter? It's hard to say. The other thing I like to do, apart from looking at transactions, is sometimes in the short term, I drop onto a 1 second chart because I can see the spikes below. If they're green spikes, more likely to have been buys, and if red spikes, sells. So you can see it's kind of mixed really for this collection. So we don't know where it's going to go, but let's talk about token holders. A couple of things we can look at. First of all, you see this tab here, top traders. We can see who's made profits on this. And you can see there's been some crazy flips, $600 into 2,500, etc. A lot of these may have sold too late, and if they had sold nearer to the top, so it could have been a lot higher. But yeah, some good profits overall. But I want to know what percentage of tokens are certain people holding, because the problem with collections like these is, if especially so early, if you think of all of the holders as a pie chart, you don't want a few people holding big bags of like 10%, 5-10%, or even more. Because if they decide, I'm done here, I'm going to take profits or losses or whatever, and I sell my 5% position, it doesn't sound like much. 5% of the entire collection, this will tank very, very quickly. You actually want, it's the same as actually NFTs. You want more holders, as many holders as possible, spread out, more retail traders, or with kind of smallish positions. That's what you prefer. Yes, you want whales buying because they're prepared to pay more, obviously, for these types of things. But generally, in terms of a collection not kind of dumping quickly, you want more holders. So the way we do that is we check on the Solana contract, and we can go and Sol scan there. So all we do is we scroll down to the right, and where you see laptop here, you want to click this button here to open in a new tab, and that opens solscan.io. Solscan's really good. You can get some quick information about the contract. You don't need to be an expert developer or anything to read it. It's pretty basic. It's got the name there. If you ever need the token address, you can copy it here if you want to. You can get it obviously from Dex Screener directly as well. As a reminder, it's here right next to the name. You click there and it's copied right there. And you scroll down, you can see a few transfers, stuff like that, but I'm interested in holders. So if I click on holders here, I can see who's holding and how much. Now you have to remember here as well, because of the liquidity pool, there'll be a certain amount. For example, this Radium one would have been more than likely liquidity. So it would be tokens sent to the liquidity pool with Solana. So that one you don't have to worry about. It's all these other holders that you have to worry about. This top one, again, it could be a liquidity pool. It's hard to know for 100% sure unless we research it more. And then here, you've got some holdings, nothing crazy to be honest with you. 2%, 1%, nothing too crazy there. So nothing overly concerning, as long as you can just confirm the top one and confirm that it's a pool somewhere, liquidity pool for this particular contract. And that's it. So for any of these collections, you can do this similar type of process where you just have a look and you see very quickly what the holders are doing. So that's it for this one. Like I said, this is more for, so if we scroll out, it's more for longer term collections. So ones that you're looking to trade after the period of a few hours, you might start looking at token holders just to give you a general idea, especially if it's one you want to hold for a day or longer and you're quite bullish otherwise on the collection. I don't spend a lot of time on that because, like I said early on, you're not really bothered too much about the holders because prices moving so fast. Even teams who hold some of their own tokens, for example, for marketing, they might hold 10%. They're not going to do anything in the first few months. They've invested time and money in this project. They're not interested in selling immediately because the price hasn't moved for them to make anything. So in this first wave, you're safe. And like I said, this is one of my favorite areas, wave one. So that will bring our tutorials when it comes to wave one towards an end. And we'll come back to this again. But this is the area we're interested in. So just remember, new collections, what are the basic checks we're doing very quickly? what are we looking for on a chart as well, and not only buy entries, but look to sell too. Look at those psychological levels. Look at maybe if you're in profit, selling some of the position and then keeping more. The good thing about BonkBot is it helps you to do that very easily, and we'll discuss that in a different training tutorial. But I exclusively for Sol, to be honest, I don't use the regular wallets. I just use BonkBot now. It's so easy. Just quick button whilst you're looking at the chart, buy and sell. Almost like a computer game. Thanks for listening.